Controlling a brick doesn't sound like much fun, but what if I told you that this brick hides a rocket launcher under one of its sides, which you can use to blow up enemies and propel yourself to new heights? Now it sounds more exciting, right? That is the killer idea behind Nitrome's latest pixel art puzzler Ogun Brick, which is all about aligning your cube into the right position so you can roll to new areas, solve spatial puzzles and beat up massive great bosses. File this one under "Why has no one thought of this before?" ShadowMatic is all about twisting and turning lumpy blobs of material so their silhouette reveals a familiar object on the back wall. It's incredibly tactile and playful, and it's all wrapped up in a calming zen-like atmosphere that lets you chill out, kick back and just solve some puzzles with no dangers and no timers. MOBAs on mobile just don't seem to work. Vainglory isn't making quite as much money as Dota 2, and people aren't playing Fates Forever on Twitch in quite the same numbers as League of Legends. So there's little chance that The Witcher will make much of a dent, but it's still a cracking game that offers fast and furious combat, but with a welcome simplicity that will help new players try out this intimidating genre. It's a good job that Soul Invictus is a gamebook, because if you actually saw all the grim, gory and blood-soaked stuff in this choose-your-own-adventure, you might just lose your lunch. This is a follow-up to Heavy Metal Thunder, and it's bigger and broader in just about every way. You're now exploring the solar system with a crew of soldiers as you hunt down a mad alien menace. How will you proceed? January has been a month for remakes, remasters and re-releases with new versions of games like Grim Fandango and Resident Evil. But don't forget about our old pal Square Enix. This month it gave us the epic Super Famicom role-player Dragon Quest V on our smartphones, with slightly sharper visuals, working touchscreen controls and nothing else, just a classic RPG faithfully recreated on phones. Talk about a hidden gem. I didn't even know this game existed until I started researching this list, but now I see that it's a rhythm-powered role-playing game with gorgeous cartoon art, and I absolutely have to play it. The game has you biffing on baddies by completing a simple musical minigame. You'll have to think fast and tap faster to stay alive. Slugs 2 is way too cute for a game about the systematic mass murder of hundreds of soldiers. It's a game about blowing up choppers and churning through baddies with a flamethrower, but it's all cute and cuddly like a puppy made of bubblegum. It calls back to the good old days when shooters weren't grotty and grungy and full of stubbly men rendered in Unreal Engine. They were colourful, bouncy and fun, and that's exactly what Orange Pixel has managed in this balls out sequel. No points for timing here, the film's almost a year old at this point, but Warner Bros. Wins some back for using the 3DS version as inspiration for this iOS port of the Lego Movie, which actually works quite nicely on mobile. Thanks to a towering perspective and smart touchscreen controls, it's easier than ever to wander through plastic worlds, scooping up studs and beating up baddies. Sure, we've done all this about a billion times before, but once more won't hurt. Free-to-play brawler WWE Immortals is not the smartest or the deepest fighting game around, but I suppose that suits the WWE, doesn't it? You can't call it unenjoyable though, there's something undeniably fun about kicking the snot out of your rivals. That was true of Batman and Superman in Injustice, and it's true of The Rock and John Cena in this bonkers wrestling rehash. Adventure Time Game Wizard could be compared to Little Big Planet. You can make your own platforming stages, you can share them online, and you can play through a grand campaign mode to unlock new characters and building materials. But it also does something that Sackboy just can't do. You can use special graph paper to draw out levels by hand and then scan them in with your iPhone's camera. The levels then magically materialise in the game.
Slammacow! That was tops!